What is up, y'all? Come on in. How are you doing? How are you feeling? That is the question, because when you feel good, as my mentor says, you flat out do good. Let me know you're in here. Let me know you're on here. And thank you for giving me a little bit of your time. I love it. Isaac's on, Renee's on. What is up? How are you doing? How are you feeling? I hope you're doing good, and I hope you're feeling good, because that's what they say. You flat out do good. So I said it twice. It must be nice. I kind of got lost there. What's up? What is this? This is Driven, episode 5. Thank you so much for coming on. What is Driven? It's a show for people that are crushing it, that want to crush it, and that don't even know what crushing it is about. I'm that guy. My name is Scott. I'm a dad. I'm a sledder, and I got my vision set on exactly what means the most to me, and I hope you do too. And if you don't, feel your passion, grow your network, level up, ask some questions, and see if it can take you where you want to go. So, here's Driven. Thank you guys for coming in tonight. Marty's on. What's up, brother? Love that, man. Luke, doing good, doing good. Trish is on. Thank you guys so much for coming in. Thank you for your time. What is Driven? What are you going to get out of Driven? And what is in it for you? It's a place you can come in, level up, grow your network, have some fun, and meet some people that maybe you haven't met before. Maybe you don't know exactly how to make your impact on a day-to-day basis, but this might be your chance to do that. So I had this whole thing wrote up, and it kind of, you get on Facebook Live and you're like, la 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 la, and then you kind of lose yourself. So anyway, I get kind of pumped up. Can you hear me? Can you see me okay? I'm working on a new setup. Check my story out when you go back on Facebook, and I got a legit setup. I love it. It's great. I'm working on it. I'm doing this thing. I got a lot of stuff to figure out. Can you make right? Lake Tahoe is like 22% of normal right now. 22%, like not good. No snow anywhere. I drew a circle, and it's like 700 miles to get to anything fresh or good. It's terrible. I can't do anything about that. I wish I could. The boys back east are having a blast. Pacific Northwest is going off. Canada's going off. Montana's good. But those are just a little far away from me. You're on the West Coast too, I think, aren't you, Isaac? Anyway, what is Driven? It's a show for you to connect, grow your network, and have some fun. I've had a great run at the beginning of this. Sorry, it's my fault. Right? It's deep up there. I was talking to a guy today, and he's like, pray for snow, and I'm like, I got one up for you, and it goes along the lines of praying with expectation and doing it selflessly. I'm like, pray for snow for the farmers, and then I'm just going to ride around on it for a little while before you use it. So like this title said, thoughts are things, think snow, and think about the farmers. And if you're praying for goodness, everything will come around in its own time. So what's up? How you doing tonight? How you feeling? I'm having a great time. I hope everybody had an excellent New Year's, had an excellent Christmas. That's all over. And is it exhausting for me? It's a lot. I don't know. As a kid, I always remember the Christmas and New Year's. It's just like a fun fest, and it definitely is. But when the roles kind of change and you're in charge of stuff, and this year I had to work a lot over the Christmas and New Year's holidays, so it was a little different. Usually I take the time off and go do some stuff, but this year I wasn't able to do that, and it's like, okay, if I could cram this day into Christmas and I can make Christmas happen this day, I'll be good to go. If I can cram New Year's into that. But anyway, it all worked out. I had a great time. I hope you had a great time. I got a chance to go up to Idaho for a weekend. I think we were up there for 3 or 4 days. It was great. Had a good family time at our cabin. And what are you going to get out of this show? That's what I want to talk about right now. What is this show for? And that's really anything going forward. That's kind of what I got to wrap this head around. And if you read the title, it says thoughts or things. And I did kind of get lost in the new year. I had a bunch of people, right off the beginning, sharing it out, showing me support, telling me, and it kind of got overwhelming. I'm like, oh my God, I started this thing, and and it's really growing fast, and I'm really thankful for that. And I just hope to give you guys some value each day or each time I come on and do this show. And I hope you're really enjoying what I'm saying and what I'm doing. And it put a lot of pressure on me, and especially doing this on Facebook Live. Like, I don't get a chance to edit. I don't get a chance to, I'm learning with you, and I hope you guys are having fun with that. And we'll see where it goes for this next year. But I got some big things planned. And I didn't really make a resolution. I've a lot of what I based this last year off was writing down what I wanted and where I wanted to be, and then writing down, and then knowing exactly where I'm at right now, and then connect the dots in the middle. And I started looking at like where I wanted to be. I'm like, how am I ever going to do that? How am I ever going to get to that spot? And I'm like, there's so much I don't know. There's so much I got to learn. What's on? Joey's on. What's up? Dennis on. What's up? Happy New Year. There's so much I got to learn and so much I got to do. And I got kind of overwhelmed. I had a couple great conversations on Driven, and thank you guys. Thanks for the audience. And again, if you're on this live, drop a comment. Let me know you're here. And if you're watching this on the replay, drop a 2 maybe, and I can come back and comment later. But this is Driven 2018. I don't have a guest coming on today, so again, if you like what I'm doing and you have a story you want to share or something you want to talk about, I'd love to invite you on, bring you up on the show with me, because we're just kind of going freestyle tonight again. This is a catch-up. Typically, I like to do this on Wednesdays at 8 o'clock, but sometimes life and work schedule gets in the way of that, so we're doing it Friday at 7. That's what I'm talking about. Woo! Did you like Chewbacca? I didn't. That's how I introed him. Daniel, what's up, man? Doing good. Driven 2018. It's all about that. It's all about that. So here we go. What I want to talk about tonight is thoughts or things. I recently I took action on an opportunity that was presented to me about joining a mastermind group based around a book that some of you may know, some of you may not. And it really started to snowball. It got big. The group's massive, and I'm super excited for what it's going to give me. We're in chapter 1, and we got a workbook and stuff, and it's super cool. And I'm really excited to what I can get out of it. I mean, it's not a success formula, if you will, but I get the words right out of there. But it shows you what other people have done and will do, and it will help you get to where you want to go if you apply everything in the book and in the workbook. So I'm pretty stoked on that. So for over the next 90 days, you'll see kind of a trend with my posts being a little more, I don't know, I'm going to relate it back to everything that I'm doing in my brand and me and in my community and the people I talk to and associate with. But it's kind of going to have a general theme about it, and I'm super excited about that. So Julia's on, thank you. Paul's on. How's everyone doing? Mike's on. Can you hear me all right? Can you see me okay? Still working out. I got the new digs here, trying to get it all set up. Is it echoey? It probably is, because I'm in a big room right now with nothing on the walls. Blank canvases everywhere. Need a picture. Inspirational. Driven. Internet energy drink. So how's everyone doing Friday night? I'm going to share a quick story, and if somebody wants to pop in and come on, I'd love it. But so to me, Driven is I was exactly right here. I knew where I was, and I knew what I had going on, and I knew that is not what I wanted to be doing. So I knew to get where I wanted to go, I was going to have to learn some stuff and do some things a little different, because my trajectory was not going to put me to where I wanted to be. Brian Moon, what's up, brother? How you doing? Thanks for coming on. My trajectory was not going to get me to where I wanted to go and do the things I wanted to do. And overall, my biggest goal is I want to impact a community, and I definitely relate with the sledding community. And I'm like, so my question that I was faced with was, how can I impact the snowmobile community when and you know, I'll be completely honest with you and completely transparent with you, but I can't drop 20 grand on a new sled every year. I can't buy thousands of dollars worth of parts a year. And I don't say I can't in terms of I won't ever be able to. I'm saying right now, like, I know my sitch, and my sitch don't not allow dropping several grand on aftermarket parts and stuff like that. And that's not my main priority in life. But with the story I'm going to share with you in a couple minutes, you'll see that it is my life. It does revolve around me and what I value. And I'll tie that in later with the story I'm going to share with you guys. I just knew that I couldn't make the impact I wanted to make because I didn't have the time available. I didn't have the ability to go ride the 90 days, 100 days, 60 days. Like, that's challenging with work-life balance, family balance, and my location. So I knew I had to try to do some things differently to be able to get me to where I wanted to be, and that is to make an impact on the snowmobile community, preferably positive. And John, what's up, brother? Thank you again for coming on last week. That show is fire. If you guys did not catch episode 4 with John, go back and do that. EJ, what's up? Drop it, man. I gotta see it. Come on. You're on. I know you're on. So I knew exactly where I was. I knew where I wanted to go, and I just had to fill in the middle spaces. So all these thoughts are going through my mind. I'm like, how am I going to do it? 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 And I kind of backed up, and I started thinking about, I'm like, okay, so if I want to make an impact, there it is. That's what I'm talking about. Right? $2,000 on this week. Yeah, it happens. I get you. And it's a challenge, but it's a priority. And if it's something that's passionate about you, you make it a priority. And I actually wrote a note. It's on right here. It says less hands, but I never know what to do with my hands on this thing. I don't know what to do with my hands. Anyway, so I had to figure some stuff out, figure out how to do it. So I came up with a plan. Put it down on paper, and I'm taking action on it, and it involves this Facebook Live, and it involves trying to help people, and here we are. So I hope everyone's doing good. You're feeling good. Who do we got on? EJ's on, Joey's on, Isaac's still on. Good, man. I'd love to have you on, Isaac. You seem like you can crush it in life. You got a couple good, successful businesses. Your trucks are rad, which is cool. Anyway, thanks for coming on. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight. My story. Okay, so why sledding? What is snowmobiling to me, and why is it a significant enough to where I can basically align my entire life going forward to committing to this community, and it goes back a little while, and then we'll get a little real with you, and I hope I can transfer a little bit of the passion behind this story to you. And if you do get some love from it, maybe you relate to it, drop a comment. Let me know that it's something that sparked your interest when you were a kid. And it doesn't have to be sledding. I mean, it could be anything, any sport, any profession, any life, anything. But so from a very early on, and I got to give so much, I give so much respect and admiration to my grandfather. If you knew him, you know he's an amazing human being, and you know the type of impact he had on the world and it's just hands down positive. But what I want to go into is his story, and he is the ultimate sledpreneur. Like, he grew a massive sled network, and he built his business around sledding. And from the very beginning, he built up a successful tractor supply store where they sold for Ford, New Holland, and he just worked 150 days a summer all day long during the haying season, and selling tractors and repairing tractors and baling hay and raising cows and all that stuff. But when it came time for the winter to roll around, it was go time. It was straight on go time. He had a team set up to take care of the work, and him and my grandma and all of our family, it was up to Idaho they would go. And I don't know how many days a year he rode, but it was a lot. It was mountain riding, so it was a couple, easy couple thousand miles a winter. And at the time I was little and I didn't really think much about it. It was just a place. There was a bunch of snowmobiles up there, and when we got there we rode them and we had a great time. Yeah, in the fresh snow. But this is what he did. He worked hard all summer long to provide for his family and take care of the things he needed to take care of. So in the winter, he had the freedom to go up, live in the mountains, and be on the snow and do the things he loved to do. So he made a huge impact on the community he was in. We had the cabin. We have a cabin up in Cascade, Idaho, and we ride West Mountain, and that's what he did. And this is before, it was all, we had the big fancy sleds and all the horsepower and the technology and blah, 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 blah. He was up there on old machines in the 70s and 80s and 90s and passing this tradition on to us. So every winter, it was Christmas time or whatever, we'd go up there and have a couple weeks to ride, and then we'd go back up, and he was always there. The machines would be ready, and for the most part, they would be running, and it just became a thing. So from the time I was very little, I had a little kitty cat sled, and I'd ride that around the cabin, round and around and around and around and around. And now, like, our kids are doing the same thing, which is the whole thing behind the passion of the sled family and my sled network, if you will. What's up, Josh? Thanks for coming on. Hey, brother, how you doing, man? I got a phone call. I gotta hold off on that. I think it... Not sure. Anyway, the whole thing behind going up to Idaho every winter was just... It was about family, and the riding was the best part. It was the bonus. Yo, Scott, what's up, Jack? Thanks, man. Josh, hey, brother. The whole thing was about family. So I associate snowmobiling with family, and that's where the connection to me is, to pour my heart into it and to pour my soul into it, because I know I'm not the only one. Drop some fire if when you can relate to, like, sledding or whatever it is. It doesn't have to be snowmobiling. For me, it's snowmobiling. For a lot of the people on here, it's snowmobiling. But I associate it with family. That moment in my life, that moment in time is, I associate sled, snow, our cabin, and family. So for the whole time growing up, every winter, boom, we'd shuttle up there, we'd go ride, great time. Sometimes we'd have Christmas up there. Sometimes we'd have Christmas, rush through Christmas in Winnemucca, and then haul butt up to Cascade, and we'd stay there for a week or two or whatever it may be. And a few times my mom, love you, Mom, she'd let me miss the first week of school so I could stay up there and ride, because whatever, school starts January 3rd. She'd let me have that other week, and she'd go back to work. I'd stay up there with my grandpa and miss the whole first week of school. And that's where this story comes from. So that's a little backstory on why sledding. I have a lot of people on here that maybe understand the passion behind what we think about all year long, not having snow right now, really thinking about... Exactly. It's about the family and the sled network, if you will. I kind of coined that term. So this story, I'm thinking I was 15, give or take, I can't really remember, 15 or 16, right around there. I'd stayed behind at the cabin, and everybody had went home, and it was just me and my grandpa up there, and one of the sleds was broke down. I think it was like an ET 340 maybe, and we'd got it going. And at this point, my grandpa was 81 or 2, couple open heart surgeries, like had a poop bag, colostomy bag, tons of life happened to him, and he was on breathing treatments, but he was still alive, and he still had the hunger. And so we get this sled running, and I'm up there, it's just me and him, and he wanted to taste it out, and he's like, well, let's take it for a ride. And I was thinking, he just wanted to run it down the road to see how it was running and see if it was good to go. And I mean, he throws full gear on, and I quickly am like, well, where are we going? So I hope you can see me. Can you hear me all right? Again, if you're watching the replay, drop a 2. If you show me some love, and thank you for coming on here. So we're getting ready for this little ride. I'm expecting just going down the road. Again, my grandpa's upper 80s, and we head down, and he's like, let's head up the mountain a little ways. And I'm like, okay. We just got our sled going. I remember I was on my phaser, and I'm pretty sure he was on the ET 340, which is funny. But anyway, and we head up the mountain. We get about halfway up the mountain, and there's either the road that goes this way, which is the easy road, and then the road that goes that way, which is the less easy road. And granted, we're not running massive long tracks here and stuff, and it's an uphill climb and it takes work. So he's 80 plus, runs out of air real fast, got a bag on his stomach, doing his thing. Love the guy. Picture, video, and audio. I'll check. Good, perfect. We head up this mountain, and he quickly runs out of air. We get about halfway up, and he's got to stop, and his sled dies. And again, I'm 15 or 16. I'm ripping around, and I pull up behind him and pull over, and he's sitting there, and he's trying to get this old machine going. He had a couple pulls in him, and he just flat out ran out of air. I wander over to him, and it was one of those moments in your life that stick with you forever, hands down. And I have applied it to 100,000 different situations in my life. But he's like, I can't get it going. I don't have enough air or strength to pull on this machine anymore. And there I was for 16 years. This man pulled my kitty cat out of the tree hole. He got my machines going. He's, outside of snowmobiling, done 1,000 million different things for myself, my family, my cousins, my mom, and everybody. Just a constant giver and a constant doer, and great human being. So here we are on the mountain. It's me and him, and he can't get his machine going, and I have the opportunity to step in and start a snowmobile for him. And it doesn't mean there's for me personally, there was a lot behind it that really kept me going. It really gave me motivation to I guess when you're stuck in a situation, it's something I can fall back on, and maybe you have a story like this too. It's something I can fall back on, that all those years of him starting my machine, getting me unstuck, doing his thing for me, like in that minute, I was there to help him. It was I don't know, I get kind of caught up telling this story, but it's really something that's important to me. I had to start his machine for him, and he quickly realized that we probably shouldn't go any farther, and I did too. He could die at any minute, and we were up on the mountain. And anyway, it was his last snowmobile ride. He lived for 4 or 5 more years, 6 years after that, but it was his last time up the mountain, and the dude's logged tens of 20s of thousands of miles on this mountain. He was a staple in the snowmobile community up there. He laid the original maps down. He started the clubs. If somebody was stuck, stranded, hurt on the mountain, he was their first call to go get them. And he just impacted this community as well as our family in 1,000 different ways constantly. And here we are, we're up on the mountain, and I get to start his sled for him. And it's even to this day, it's just probably one of my greatest memories of him, on top of him driving me all over the country to go rodeo as a kid and all the other stuff he's done for me. But the day I got to start my grandpa's snowmobile for him because he couldn't, one of my greatest days. So with that, I want to ask you the thoughts or things. So when I came into this year, I'm like, okay, I got to do a couple things. Really got to get them done. I'm like, how am I going to do them? And I started thinking, and with the title that thoughts or things, I started thinking about like, wait a minute, I don't know how to do that. Thinking, wait a minute, I don't know how to do that. Hey Jake, what's up? Dale's on. Thank you. I don't know how to do that. And I kept telling myself, I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to do that. And I'm like, wait a minute, why am I I'm like, there's enough people in this world telling me that I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to do, or I can't do it, or I'm not going to do it. Why am I telling my own self I don't know how to do it? So I quickly made a shift, and we're a day or two on. I do not know how to say your name. Kauza? Anyway, thanks for coming on. I had to make a switch, and I had to start telling myself, maybe I don't know how to do it, but hey, I can figure out how to do that. I can figure out how to do that. I can figure out how to do that. And along with the book I'm reading in the mastermind group, it's materializing your thoughts, basically. It's thinking only the outcome you want and basically making it materialize. And let me know if that's something that you've done or can do, because if you can materialize your own thoughts, then what's holding you back from thinking about whatever it is you want to do in your life, whether it be job, personal, professional, family, pastime, hobbies? What's holding you back from doing that? And if you can think positive thoughts, and you can think of what you want to do and what you want to accomplish, and only think of that, then the thoughts from, hey, I can figure that out, change from, hey, I don't know how to do that. And you're telling yourself constantly, I don't know how to do that. I don't think I can do that. I don't think I can do that. Versus, I can do it. I can figure it out. Can you feel me? Can you hear me on that? So anyway, I got to figure some stuff out. Hope everyone's doing good. This is just kind of a catch up. I had to work night shift last Wednesday, so I wasn't really able to get a guest on. I didn't know if it was going to work out, so I'm just going to catch up tonight. I got a lot of things planned. No New Year's resolutions, not one for those, but taking daily action on what I want to do is the biggest thing. And I'm glad you guys stuck with me today. Listen to my story. Hey, Michelle, thanks for popping in. I love that. I hope you like my story. And going forward, I want to reach out to as much people as possible to see if they want to come on this show and share their story. But if you ever, like, I can't, there's no way I could reach out to all thousands of my friends or whatever. If there's something, if you got a story and you got a, it doesn't have to be a major story. I'm not looking for people that, I'm looking for people that are real for this story. I'm looking for people that have a story, that have a passion, and are doing things to get closer to it. You don't have to be there. I'm not where I want to be yet, but I know that if I keep taking action and keep learning and keep asking for help, that I'm going to get there eventually. Every little step is getting me closer to where I want to be. And I say it a lot on a lot of my posts. I'm not where I want to be, but I'm a lot closer than I was yesterday. And that is so true. And again, with the Thoughts Are Things title of this show, it's important that those thoughts are good thoughts and they're constructive. They don't always have to be happy, help, they just have to be constructive. Like, are the thoughts that you're thinking helping you get where you want to go, or are they holding you back? Because there's enough people in the world that'll hold you back. So I hope you guys have a great weekend. There's snow in the forecast for a lot of places. That's awesome. Everybody back east, be safe. Flooding, it's crazy weather. It's 50, 70, it's like 70 degrees in a lot of places where it should be 30. Crazy weather we're having. I don't know what to do with that, but who's on still? Michelle, Marty. Oh, all right. Hey, Marty, you want to come on, dude? Michelle, would you like to come on? I got a minute here. If not, we'll wrap up and get out of here. Everybody have a great weekend. I hope you take the chance to make your thoughts things. Check out my post I put on with Tegan Ice Fishing. There's some good content in there. I loved it. But yeah, I'm excited to see what's going on. I got a couple cool plans, some things I'm going to test, and everything's a test at this point. Hey, Danny, how you doing? Thanks for popping in. Everything's a test at this point for me. And I hope you enjoy what I'm doing, because I'm doing it for you. It's fun to do, and it's a good way to connect, grow your network. And if you don't let your net work, you're going to have to do more work. So there you go. Thoughts of the day. That's what you're going to get out of it. I hope you had a good night. I do appreciate it. Later, everybody.